What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So for this horror trailer review, we are taking a look at the film called Push. And as you can see from the headline here, Push trailer and poster sees pregnant woman dealing with violent home invader. Obviously, this is not the same Push film. I think from 2009. 2009, I think it was. The one that had Chris Evans in it was also called Push, where some of them had an ability or a power to push. Totally different film, same name. This one appears to be a home invasion. I mean, it says violent home invader. So I imagine this is going to be considered a home invasion horror film under that subgenre. The way they're describing this, though, again, I have no context of this film. This is the first I'm hearing of this film. First, I'm going to be reading any information about it, seeing anything about it. So if you happen to know more about this film, drop a comment in the comment section and let me know. Otherwise, I'm finding out about this at the same time some of you might be as well, and assuming you haven't read, heard, or watched the trailer. So, but looking at this, it sees pregnant woman deal with violent home invaders. So, I mean, that's a pretty interesting foundation to start your film on, especially for a home invasion. So let's jump into the article details as we always do, and then we'll watch the trailer. All right, a pregnant realtor bites off more than she can chew when she attempts a daunting open house. That's before it turns into a harrowing siege in the new trailer for Push. David and Justin are back with the upcoming home invasion horror movie releasing on Shudder July 11th. We also have Alicia Sanez and Raul Castillo lead the cast. In the film, haunted by the memory of her late fiancée, Natalie Flores finds herself 8 months pregnant and in desperate need of a new start. Determined to regain her sense of self, she moves to America and uses her real estate license to take on a challenging listing. However, she soon discovers her new beginning may be a deadly end when she catches the eye of a sadistic killer at her open house. After becoming stranded at the property, Natalie falls into premature labor, starting a psychological ticking clock as she must find a way to escape before she gives birth. We have the writer, director, producer, trailer information. Let's see here. Which increases the home invasion stakes with the looming threat of labor. Okay, we already heard that up there. This next part's a review information. I skip over that. As you all know, I skip over anything to do about someone posting in the article as well, their review of the film, just because I'm sure they probably saw it at a film festival. So they've already seen it, right? So I don't necessarily want to read any review information, because I don't want it to poison the well, so to speak, from my experience in watching the trailer and then ultimately watching the movie. I don't read reviews like that. So we have the trailer and we have the poster, which I love this poster. And the reason, whether it's just a simplistic poster, it's just the fact that there's not a bunch of noise on it. It's the name of the movie, the Shudder original. That's it. Nothing else to do with the poster except for I'm sure this is the main actress. Before we jump into the trailer, let's go back to some of the article details here. I mean, the fact that, okay, we're setting this up as a siege on this house. Okay, I don't understand. She's 8 months pregnant. I get that. It's not what I don't understand. Determined to regain her sense of self, she moves to America and uses her real estate license to take on a challenging listing. Okay, I wonder what's so challenging about a house listing, unless someone, was retired in it by somebody else and then they self-retired. Not sure why it would be such a challenging listing. Maybe we'll find out. And then it says she catches the eye of a sadistic killer, okay, and at her open house. But she becomes stranded at the property. Well, how does she get there? I mean, if she drove there and she's doing an open house, I'd imagine you're not stranded, you have a car. Unless this is going to fall within one of the many horror tropes that we've talked about in recent weeks, where things that you typically see in horror films that you absolutely hate that happen in horror films. One of those was being that your car just all of a sudden just happens to not work anymore, even though it was working perfectly fine. You probably had it serviced 2 days ago down at Jiffy Lube, and now you get to this listing, which now there's a siege on, and your car doesn't work, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. So don't know how she's stranded there all of a sudden, but hopefully we'll find out. Either way, she's 8 months pregnant, and I'm sure that is going to play some major impacting role into this as to how she survives. So, all right, let's get back to the top of this article, and now let's pull up this trailer. And let's see what the home invasion film push is going to be about.
It's remarkable being in labor under those circumstances.
Cool place. Yours?
Trying to sell it. My boss says it's unsellable. Been on the market for years.
Yeah, why is that?
I guess people think it's cursed.
What's the deal with the owners?
I don't know all the details, but I was told they were murdered.
It's almost like they're still here.
Fuck.
Maybe that's why no one showed up today.
How did you know no one showed up today?
I know this place better than you.
You're having a rough day, huh?
All right, so that was an interesting trailer. I don't know where we're really going with this film outside of, I mean, the trailer was very simplistic. I'm not excited about this film. I'm not saying this film is complete trash. It's just very, I mean, it was only 1 minute and 43 seconds long, the trailer was. So we see at the beginning of that trailer, which I'd imagine we're going to see a bit of a flashback because we know her fiance, her husband, is dead. I imagine what we saw was him behind the wheel of a car. The car accident probably killed him. We obviously then get to the point where she's at the house. It's a pretty big house, but she mentions in the talk over that we hear is that the reason maybe why the house isn't being sold is because it's cursed. And then when we noticed a point when she was, I think it was when it was a light bulb had flashed out or broken, we saw a shadow behind her, and she keeps then going through the first part of that trailer as if she's seeing somebody, or she has that feeling of being watched. Because then we also then see a moment where she's looking down like the main hallway, or one of the main hallways, into like a dark corridor, again thinking somebody is there. We continue on. She finds this tunnel that looks like it's been dug out underneath that, maybe underneath the house, where there's now lights going down it, because that tunnel then comes into play later on the trailer. I'm wondering, the guy that we see who turns out to be the villain, because he's like, how did you know there was no one that came by my open house? I think he's using this tunnel somehow to move about to, the property, to get in and out of the house. And he's the one that's kind of lurking in the shadow, watching her up until he realizes either she has now seen him or makes his presence known. Either way, now he's trying to retire her. We see her water break. She's very much pregnant. We only see, I think, maybe 2 other actors pop up. We look at like a sheriff maybe, and then another guy, and it could be the sheriff, where someone's getting stomped out on the ground at one of the doors. Then the trailer pretty much ends. I mean, we see her at the end. Oh, actually, we see her in the tunnel system, and it looks like she's being chased through that tunnel system. And then at the end, we see her, what appears to be, she's laying in the back of a car, in the backseat of a car. She sits forward with a shotgun, shoots a shotgun, and the trailer ends. So, I mean, it seems like a very simplistic trailer and story. I'm not sure how this is, as the article put it, a siege. I'm not sure how this is really a home invasion film. I'm sure, though, I would hope that the film will set this up a little bit better, especially since the person that we see is supposed to be a killer. So unless maybe this is the house where he brings his victims, maybe that's why the tunnel system is there. Maybe that's why the house can't ever be sold, because maybe he's doing something where he's scaring potential buyers off or other realtors off. I don't know. Again, hopefully the film will give us some explanation. I mean, I'm not looking for Gone with the Wind here, but I am looking for some level of foundation for us to stand on, setting the story up, because otherwise this one looks pretty pretty mid to me. It is coming straight to Shudder on July 11th. So, I mean, I already have Shudder. I'll add it to the queue when it pops up. I probably won't rush to watch this one. I'll make sure there's all the other ones in my queue that I've been wanting to watch and get caught up on. I'll watch those first and then come to this one. Otherwise, yeah, this one looks pretty mid to me. Not what I would expect from a home invasion trailer. I mean, we've seen other home invasion films. We've covered other home invasion films, and they've had a lot more substance, a lot more meat on the bone than this one does. So drop a comment in the comments section. Let me know what you think about the film called Push, coming to Shudder July 11th. Home invasion horror film. Let me know what you think. Also, let me know what you think about home invasion films in general. Again, we don't see them all that often, but we have been seeing a little bit more of them. Maybe they're coming back. Maybe there's a siege of home invasion films coming. So again, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next one. Later.